Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today we're going to be doing a throwback and looking at an old video that I made. And I made this video in May of 2020. It was a very relevant question at that time because I was just interested in seeing what the community of gamers was at that point thinking, kind of, what direction people would go once Cyberpunk 2077 was released. In that vein, I even made a video that I titled The Division 2, and I asked the question, could Cyberpunk 2077 ruin The Division 2? And I basically made this video. I had some points that I placed out there and said, both games have some differences. I don't necessarily see Cyberpunk 2077 affecting The Division 2. That was my argument. Little did I know that this game was going to come out and basically The Division will go unaffected by Cyberpunk, basically. I mean, sure, maybe some people left to play Cyberpunk, but whatever they got to play, I don't know how their experience was that kept them away from The Division long enough. So if you are one of those people who've gone to Cyberpunk 2077 and have not returned to The Division 2, you can let me know in the comment section. It'll just be interesting to know why and, some of the things that you've seen in that game. And the reason this came up is somebody actually commented on the video and they said, it's weird that this video just showed up on their recommendations 8 months later. And the correct answer is no, strange days. I pinned the comment and I'll link it for you guys. If I don't remember, somebody let me know. Now, another reason I'm also bringing this up is this also came up at the Ubisoft earning call. I would say question and answer session where one of the investors, this is after they answered the future of the Division question, actually, because I was listening to the questions. That's where some of the information kind of came out. One of the investors asked and said, something along the lines of if Cyberpunk 2077 basically kind of played a role for Ubisoft to be able to leap into a lot more success in their sales at the end of 2020. And, the answer that the executive gave was more of, well, we have a huge back catalog, and he kind of still propped up Ubisoft and said, we still got our thing going for us. Competition is still there, but, kind of along the lines that it never necessarily would have mattered, which kind of, clued me into a lot of people looking into Cyberpunk 2077 understand that the game's state when it came out basically provided a springboard for other games to shine. Because if you think about it, Ubisoft basically changed the release date of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, from somewhere around November 19th or November, I can't remember when, and they pushed it up because I think many people had speculated that they did not want to compete against Cyberpunk 2077 on release. And so they pushed the date up and people were thinking, man, they're pushing the date up because, Cyberpunk's going to eat Assassin's Creed alive, only to come out and find out that Valhalla, even though with all its shortcomings, from the gaming community, still registered and resonated more to people as a decent Ubisoft open world game than Cyberpunk 2077 did. And so I guess we can kind of look at all of this and say, sure, there are a lot of unfortunate reasons. It's sad. I somehow deep down inside wanted Cyberpunk to compete against The Division, to kind of wake the developers up to continue to just, fine tune their art. Maybe their art is already fine tuned and, we just are not in a place where we can accept that yet as gamers. I mean, I feel like more can still be done. Don't get me wrong. But, it's all come full circle and now we're here and we can say, okay, what is game development going through? And I'm making this video because Outriders is basically, a few weeks away for us to test out the demo. And I've noticed that a lot of the sentiment towards Cyberpunk 2077 that was also being raised for Outriders has somewhat kind of died down. I think humble pie set in once Cyberpunk came out and it was busted on the PlayStation 4. A lot of people kind of were like, whoa, we need to tone it down with the way we're expecting these games and the way we're hyping these games and the reality. And the reality is a lot of these video games are very challenging to make. Gaming is something else. Just recently, a new game just came out. It's called Blue Fire. It's a 3D platformer. I got it and I've been playing it, for a little bit because it's a game that's made on Unreal Engine 4. And that's an engine that I'm actually studying. And it's just really interesting to see what, the developers are able to do. Interestingly enough, on Steam, people are just, basically giving reviews and the game has been crashing. And I'm like, man, why would this game be crashing? And it's basically the level streaming and the loading that they used and something I can say now with a little bit more certainty that it may be something along the lines of how they design their level stream, that may be causing the crash. And I can, I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, but now I'm starting to see technical difficulties that, on paper, it works. I mean, I can tell you that when they tested out this game, yes, the level stream pretty much worked. But then as they deployed it to different machines, I don't think they probably optimized the way that the new levels will load, or maybe something along the lines of them not thinking it was going to be too tasking for some systems. And once the crash set in, that killed a lot of the user experience, and people started to give, in some cases, reviews of dissatisfaction. And I think these are some of the things that we're seeing also, and we're going to see on larger scales as the gaming industry continues to move forward. I've also been discussing with some people here in the community, and some have even said, you need to move on to other games. You can do other games, and The Division is basically a game that is just in a very bad place and all. And by the way, shameless plug, if you don't know, I have another YouTube channel where I am covering superhero games, specifically Batman and, the upcoming Gotham Knights video game. The channel is called Video Game Fight School. If you want to check it out, that's also, that'd be cool. So yes, I am covering other video games, but I love the Division franchise and what they actually bring to the table, even with all of its shortcomings as well. So it's kind of one of those things where, as a gamer and as a content creator and even someone who's in the community, I'm starting to see the reality set in. I'm starting to see that the technology is not as advanced as I presumed it would be. That what we're seeing here, when these developers are able to kind of like show off and do some really cool stuff, provide a UI that looks just as smooth and clean like this, it takes a lot of extra work to get these things done and get put into a game and shipped out. And so, as much as the gaming community may not necessarily see it, I think even with the added challenges of what's gone on with the quarantines and the lockdowns and all of that, those things may eventually expose kind of how, in a sense, I would say archaic the art of game development still is, that it's just a strong that still survive till date. That, it's kind of a weird place to be where the knowledge of everything, yes, it's available out there, but there are just not too many people that are, doing what game developers are doing right now. If you go on Twitter, almost every studio is hiring. They're hiring someone, and they're looking for people who can get the job done. They probably won't fill those positions for months, in some cases even years. They might even have to wait for some of the people that they want to come to their studios to ship a game before they can get them in and even continue working on those games. It's that crazy, where talent is not necessarily, much out there. Well, not say talent, just the big studios want kind of like the highest of the highest caliber. And I think it's because of that, very huge competitive, gap that they're trying to fill that makes them, go that direction, because there are a lot of people who can actually do some level of that work. But I think right now they're just looking for people who have a lot more under their belt. And those people are usually always taken. They're usually always locked down and doing the job. So game development is a mess, and it's, still a nightmare till date. And we're hoping as gamers, who are looking into the development side of things, that technology will continue to move and keep up and catch up, and we can get better, more polished games, and developers are not going to have to basically, sweat and bleed to be able to bring those games to us. There's nothing glamorous about that, in my opinion. But anyways, that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this video. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. CD Projekt Red, yes, they had an unfortunate situation, even with all the work they put in. But at the end of the day, it's just, if you think about it, technology is a mess. Technology has not necessarily caught up with the ambition of video game development. And I think it's a reality that we're going to continue to see as it sinks in. But I'll get out of your hair, because I would love to hear what you say in the comment section. Thank you very much for listening. Peace out.